In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. How are you, dear students? I welcome you in Pakistan International School Taif's virtual learning class for first year biology. And here we are gonna see chapter number 2, and which is about biological molecules. And today we are gonna start our next topic, that is proteins. So let's get started. Dear students, if you know about proteins, that proteins are very important for our health, for our body, for our muscles, because our muscles are made up of proteins. Our hair, our nails, and lots of compounds which are present in our body, which carry on metabolic activities, they are composed of proteins. In previous classes, you have studied about enzymes and hormones. So those are also they are proteins actually. And now we will see what are proteins, how they are formed, its structure, function, and some properties also. So if we see that proteins are the main structural component of the cell. Yes, of the cell as well, because in lipid bilayer, protein is embedded as carrier proteins, and all proteins contain carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, because this is organic biomolecule, as well as it is having nitrogen, which is the very important part of proteins. But some proteins are having phosphorus, sulfur as well, and just a few proteins are having iron, iodine, and magnesium. They can be prosthetic group, they can be uh, cofactors, etc. In the next chapter, you will study about enzymes. So then you will see that what type of coenzymes, cofactors, prosthetic group, what are these type of compounds. So what are proteins? What are their structures and how are they formed? We will see here in this topic, structure of proteins. If we see structure of proteins, that proteins are polymers of amino acids. We have seen before polymers, that long chain molecules which are made by monomers. So those are polymers, and those are also called polypeptide chains. Polypeptide chains, they are actually made up of lots of monomers of amino acids. We'll talk about monomers as well. Which monomers? Monomers of proteins, those are amino acids. So then we will see what are peptide bonds and how the polypeptide chains are formed. So some proteins can exist in only single chain polypeptide, but some are more than one polypeptide chains. If we talk about amino acids, so amino acids are those that polymer or that compound which is made up of different, uh, we can say there are different groups are present in amino acids. So amino acids are the building blocks of proteins, like monosaccharides are the building blocks of carbohydrates. So likewise, amino acids are building blocks of proteins. So there are naturally occurring 20 amino acids which are arranged in a different pattern to make lots of numbers of proteins. So now we will see now amino acids are built in very simple common plane. It is having a central carbon. This is the main carbon by which all four groups are attached. This is called alpha carbon, and because all the groups are attached with that, this one, the first carbon or the central carbon, we can say that. So on the one side, there is amino group, means NH2 amino group is attached with this carbon. On the other side, we are having this one. This is called carboxylic group. So here it is C, and one side double bond O and the other side OH. So it is carboxylic group. And a variable group, that is R group. One side always there is hydrogen is attached, and the other side this R group is variable group because it can vary with 20 different means any other type of compound. There can be the carbon chain as well, or there can be hydrogen only, and like it can be variable, it can be different, it can vary according to the requirement. So our group has a different structure in each of the 20 biological important amino acids. So here that is different. Two simplest amino acids, now glycine and alanine. If you see in this diagram below, you can see here there is glycine. In the glycine, car and alanine, carboxylic group and amino group both are same. Look here, amino group, and here carboxyl group. Here hydrogen and here hydrogen, but here at the place of R, there are H is present and there methyl group is present. So now what will happen, every time when these two amino acids will join, they will join with carboxylic group. The next amino acid will join with carboxylic side. This side is called C terminal, and this side is called N terminal. So the next amino acid will join on the C terminal always. Okay, so here what happened, condensation reaction occurred, and this hydrogen from amino group and hydroxyl group from carboxyl group will be removed, and this bond is formed. This bond, nitrogen and carbon of both of the amino acids will join together and they form dipeptide. Dipeptide means two amino acids are joined together with peptide bond. The bond between two amino acids is called peptide bond. That's why it is called dipeptide bond. Okay, so if we see the process of this one, protein synthesis is done via two amino acids combined together while condensation process, and this is called dipeptide. Dipeptide, if it is required in the in the cell, so dipeptide is formed. Otherwise, according to the requirement, polypeptides are also formed. Like with this one, another amino acids will be attached, and one hydrogen molecule will be released. So another amino acid will be attached, and this will be tripeptide. And then after this one, it is called polypeptide chain. So this is happened uh, by the instructions of DNA, which is present in the chromosome in the nucleus, and which carries that message, that carries a message is carried out by messenger RNA, mRNA. You have studied this translation process in grade 10. We will see here in detail as well. And the process by which messenger RNA give the instruction on ribosomes, that how these amino acids are linked together, in which arrangement, in which direction. So this process is called translation. In the translation process, from amino acids, polypeptide chain or dipeptide chain is formed. And then what happened? Water molecules are liberated, and we are having proteins. So they are always attached at C terminal. A new amino acid can be added in the same chain from its C terminal or carboxylic acid side. Now we'll see its structural conformation. This is very, very important, very, very important regarding proteins structure. Because in your body, your muscles, enzymes, hormones, and antibodies, lots of other compounds, they are formed by this protein. And there are different up 20 amino acids are arranged in different arrangements to form different type of proteins. But very, very important thing is that what happened in the start, when in translation process, polypeptide chain is formed that is linear. For example, like this, one amino acid is attached with other amino acid, then with other amino acid, then with other amino acid. So this will form a linear chain. When lots of amino acids are attached in linear form, that is called primary structure. Here is, because in the last here, amino group is present, that's why it is called amino, and here carboxyl end is there. So this is called carboxyl, and so next amino acid will be attached here. Okay, so this is linear arrangement or linear chain. But all the proteins are not linear form. Just when they are at the time of synthesis from the ribosome surface, then it is linear form. After that, there is like long, for the long chain, primary structure gets changed into what? Secondary structure. And this secondary structure is very, very important because it is having two different types. Like how does it form? There are lot of hydrogen bonds are formed between them. For example, partial positive and partial negative charges are present on nitrogen, partial negative, and here partial. Okay, so here what is happened? Partial positive and partial negative uh, signs are present over there. For that, what happened? Like here on the carbon, partial positive, on oxygen, partial negative, like that in hydroxyl group. So likewise, what happened? Oxygen and hydrogen, they positive or negative attracts towards one another, and like hydrogen and oxygen here, then hydrogen and oxygen here, then hydrogen and oxygen here, between hydroxyl group and that amino group. Here you can see, here is partial positive and here is partial negative. So what is gonna happen, that they attract towards one another and they form hydrogen bond. So by forming lots of hydrogen bonding, secondary structures get its a specific form, that is called alpha helix, and the other can be pleated sheet, that is also called beta pleated sheet. Alpha helix because it was first of all demonstrated by Linus Pauling and Robert Corey in 1951, and because they developed alpha helix first and beta pleated sheets at the second, that's why it is called alpha and beta, due to its uh, numbering at the level when they have just described them. Okay, so that secondary structure is in two types, is of two types, alpha helix and beta pleated sheets. In beta pleated sheets and alpha helix, there is the difference between the hydrogen bonding. If we can see this one, if we see this structure, you can see in alpha helix, the polypeptide chain coils with hydrogen bonds, keeping the coil stable. So what happened? This carbon and this oxygen, they are having positive and negative charges, partial positive, partial negative charges, so they attract towards one another, like that hydrogen and oxygen here, hydrogen and oxygen here, hydrogen and oxygen here, hydrogen and oxygen. So what happened, they form hydrogen bonds between them, and the arrangement of the bonding is such like this, they form helical structure. Helical is said to be spring-like or coil-like structure, like DNA structure is helical structure due to this hydrogen bonding. Like that, this is also having, this is polypeptide chain, and this is having between them here hydrogen bonding. Due to that, they are attracted and they form helical structure. You can see here, then like this. Next one is our beta pleated sheet. If you see this one, you can see in beta pleated, pleated means the pleats, the arrangement, the not the coiling, actually the packing of one on the other layer. So you can see here, it can form the structure like this, like the pleats in the frock, in dress. So it can be the chains form a zigzag and fold over themselves. This is also, this is one chain, polypeptide chain, and this is another chain. So due to these two chains, what happened, the hydrogen bonds is formed between the carboxyl group and nitro group of both of the um, chains. So due to this chain, they attract towards one another and they form hydrogen bonding, and due to this arrangement, they form sheet-like structures. Okay, next comes actually from primary structure to secondary structure and then to tertiary structure. When they need, they form 3D structure. Proteins form 3D structure, and this 3D structure between alpha helices and beta pleated sheet, where they form hydrogen bonding. So they form alpha helix when two chains are formed, their hydrogen bonding. So they form beta pleated sheets, and then alpha helix is the same protein polypeptide chain, but they are arranged in these two forms, and they form a unique 3D structure. This is only one polypeptide chain which is arranged like this. And this is happens in heme molecule of hemoglobin. If we see that they can be arranged in coiled form and somewhere in like this in beta pleated form, so they form like a globular structure that is beta polypeptide, and they the form due to the arrangement, due to not only the bond, what we can say, uh, hydrogen bonds, but certain other bonds are formed, they make the structure like heme structure. So that is to make a globular structure, there are ionic bonds and disulfide bonds as well. When the amino acids having R group, which is having sulfur, so sulfur and sulfur of like of other polypeptide chain. So what they do, or the same chain, if in polypeptide chain S group is present, so what happened, it attracts towards one another and it forms disulfide bridge or disulfide attraction. So that's why it is having the structure like this by attraction, as well as their positive and negative charges are also present. Due to that, ionic bonds are formed, and these ionic bonds keep the structure globular. So hydrogen bonds, ionic bonds, as well as disulfide bonds, they form the globular structure, as well as uh, hydrophobic attractions as well, or interaction as well. They form the next structure that is called what we say, quaternary structure. Quaternary structure, this is only one polypeptide chain which is arranged in the globular form. When four globular polypeptide chains are arranged by hydrophobic interaction, because due to that what happened, the hydrophobic means water hating molecules which are present here, or they are attached here, so they keep them inside, and hydrophilic will keep them outside, which are having close interaction with water, so there is hydrophilic interaction as well. So due to all these type of forces, they keep the globular structure of the protein. Most of the protein compounds are in secondary and tertiary structures, but some are in quaternary structure as well, like hemoglobin, which is present in the blood. It carries oxygen. This is heme group is present. It carries oxygen when we inhale, and it carries the oxygen to other parts of the body as well as in the cells. Okay, so here, like we have discussed all about secondary, tertiary, and quaternary structure. The basic is primary, then it is changed into secondary, tertiary, and quaternary according to the requirement. If we see significance of amino acid sequence, significance, it is very, very important. Like if out of 20 amino acids, only one amino acid is replaced with another, so this is called point mutation as well. Point mutation means change at a single or few nucleotides in DNA. So what happened in DNA? DNA is made up of nucleotides, and these nucleotides we will discuss in the next topics in nucleic acids. So these nucleotides, when they are changed at only one point, very small minor change is there, that is called point mutation. Point means where minor at one place, and mutation means change in the DNA. So by this, protein does not function properly, so it can alter whole of the, like this portion of the DNA is having some um, message which carried out from the DNA to the protein by messenger RNA, and protein is formed. So when polypeptide protein of this affected area, it gives the affected message, so it will disturb and it can cause the defects in the body. And for example, sickle cell anemia, that is a hereditary disease, like it is transferred by the DNA from your parents to the offspring. So sickle cell anemia, actually, that is the anemic condition. Normal red blood cells are, we know that they are disc form, like the plate or disc form, which is having depth inside it. But and like donut like structure, and red blood cells contain an iron rich protein that is called hemoglobin. We have discussed that is having quaternary structure, and this protein carries oxygen from the lungs to the rest of the body. And normal hemoglobin contains 4 polypeptide chains, 2 alpha chains, which consist 141 amino acids, and 2 beta chains, which consist 146 amino acids. So what happened? Like here, you can see here, these are alpha, these are beta. In beta, 141 amino acids, and in beta, 146 amino acids are there. So out of these amino acids in sickle cell anemia, what happened? Due to change in only one amino acids, which amino acids? Glutamic acid is replaced by valine, and that is happened change in amino acid sequence in beta chain, in which 146 amino acids are there. Out of 146 amino acids, only one is defected. So what happened due to that? Like whole of the structure of red blood cells are changed. So sickle hemoglobin is going to be produced now, and that is like this, like crescent form. This shape of this donut-like shape of red blood cells, it helps to carry more oxygen, more iron, utilize more iron. So here, less oxygen, to carry very less oxygen, and indeed, and sometimes there is no production of, like no carrying of oxygen. Sometimes it blocks the blood flow in the blood vessels and in the limbs and organs as well. So this can have the pain and organ damage as well. And this is only due to the change in glutamic acid, which is replaced by itself uh, by valine at the position number 6 in beta chain. Like this is normal amino acids. You can see here normal amino acids. So at the place of number 6, here is also glutamic acid, but not at 7. At number 6, this glutamic acid, by chance, it is replaced by valine. So due to this change, what is happened? Red blood cells are changed into sickled red blood cells. So it means that sickle cell red blood cells are formed because due to that hemoglobin, which is defected polypeptide chain or a protein molecule. So this is very, very like we can say dangerous, because the person is unable to carry more oxygen, and he can die even due to this problem, because this is inherited problem. So there must be awareness about this problem in while marriage or cousin marriages and like that. Okay, dear students, that is for today. I hope that you understood the lecture. Very interesting indeed, because it is very much related to our life. So we will continue inshallah in the next lecture. I wish you good luck. Allah Hafiz.